Sumpter Township. If anyone is planning on moving to Sumpter Township, you should think twice, maybe three times or four times, because it's not what you think it is. We're going to show you a number of areas of the township that are a disgrace. That's the senior citizens bus that was only supposed to be used for the seniors, taking to shopping or to the movies or something like that. But what happened was the present township uh, treasurer, along with his buddy Rod, was using these. There's two or three of these buses to deliver campaign literature to the residents, which is illegal and it's against the law. These are the Sumpter Township board, most of them. None of them are worth shit, in my opinion. People living in the campers. No house, camper. The reason I say this is because I own some property in the Sumpter Township, and they took me to court because I didn't have a house. But as you will see, we'll see a number of campers that do not have homes. All right. And I think it was racism on Sumpter Township's part, or because I ran for Sumpter Township trustee in 2016. That's when all of my trouble. That's when all my trouble began. That's one of the bathrooms in one of the in that's a porta potty. It's so horrible. I mean, I wouldn't have my worst enemy to use this place because it smells to heaven. Oh my goodness, more weeds. It should be cut. It should have been cut. People living in those campers in the woods. No house, playground equipment. Uh, as you can see, uh, it needs, they're broke. They're broke. That's a death hazard. That's for little kids to play with. Benches in the park broke. More benches in the parks broke. More people living. That's a old barn or something. More blight. And this picture here is a picture of one of the entrances as you approach Sumpter Township, and this is not how the township should be shown. More blight, more blight. Blight is everywhere, people, everywhere. Oh my goodness, this is horrible. I mean, there's a number of these places around the township. The people don't care at the township hall. They don't care. Only thing they care about is their check that they get every 2 weeks, and then they're overpaid. This is another fire hydrant that's been this way for months. That's a garbage can. I mean, that's a garbage bag over the fire hydrant. Another fire hydrant that I'm sure it doesn't work. The state should come in and check all of those fire hydrants. More blight.
That's all the pictures there. So anyway, we're going to go into that a little bit. Okay. So you have some personal background. I think you should give
Mhm.
out right at this point.
The In My Opinion show. My name is Ronald Barrington Robinson. I have lived in Sumpter Township, Michigan for 22 years. I'm an elected precinct delegate and college graduate with a degree in political science. I'm a retired lieutenant with the Michigan Department of Corrections. During my time working with the department, I was responsible for supervising hundreds of employees during my many years during the many years of my career. I scored in the top 10 on all state civil service exams, also graduating from the Flint, Michigan Police Department's Citizens Police Academy, earning high achievements. In addition, I was entrusted to protect millions of dollars of state property. I worked with I worked with several officers employed with the Flint, Michigan Police Department. With their help, 4 drug houses were raided and closed down in the apartment complex I used to reside in at the time. While residing in the Flint area, I was elected block club captain in the 7th Ward. I also managed a 40-unit apartment building. Currently, I own a television channel and and the writer and producer and host of many programs viewed on YouTube and live television. The name of my show is the In My Opinion Show. Our programs are viewed in the Detroit area as well as downriver. I established the Feed a Family program in the city of Flint. This program has been ongoing and has fed many families, children, and elderly, leading to positive feedback from the community. During thanks During Thanksgiving every year, I supply all the turkeys to Flint's North End Soup Kitchen, which also feeds thousands monthly. Now, let's fast forward again to Sumpter Township, Michigan. I, along with hundreds of others, have to ask ourselves, is this the place we want to live? The answer is no, especially with the poor conditions many have to live in. We have 2 so-called ordnance officers making over $60,000 a year, and you never see them. They're probably hiding under a tree or on the phone someplace or at home. Just take a look around your township. What do you see? Trash and blight. They are not doing their jobs, in my opinion, and should be fired immediately. Trash dumps are a mile high. More trash, blight, garbage can be found on every road and in every in many yards. Fire hydrants and other signs of safety are invisible because of trees, weeds, apathy, and poor leadership. There was a man in our township who, without pay or help, was cutting the tree limbs overgrowth and weeds so that people did not get into accidents or get killed because of the township's massive neglect. In my opinion, hydrants are not all checked yearly according to state standards, with some not working. Why is this? Our roads, which many are gravel, have potholes a foot deep, which can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars in repairs. Again, you have to ask yourself, is this a place you want to call home, raise a family? The answer is no. The disease of a township, in my opinion, all people of color and others are tired of the so-called powers that work in this township, of laziness, bigotry, and racism, shared by many others. Half of the employees don't work 40 hours and receive supersized salaries. This that this township cannot afford. The trustees only work 4 hours a month. If that, the township attorney uses the township as his personal bank. They should all be fired or recalled, whatever it takes to get rid of them legally. It would be easier if they en masse would just quit. Then we might get rid of the cancer. The state of Michigan should end the suffering of the people and take this township over. These people care nothing about the hard work and sacrifice we the people make just to survive. Many people have lost and will lose homes, good credit ratings, and other precious things that they have worked a lifetime to achieve. What I'm about to read you next is very, very, very disturbing. There were allegations of an attempted kidnap in Exeter Township of a Sumpter Township taxpayer who was directed to go to Exeter Township for a false meeting by Sumpter Township police. Why? There was another allegation. There was another alleged situation of a dummy in blackface hanging by the neck in a tree in one of our parks. Sumpter Township police officers used it for target practice, allegedly. The Civil War is over, people, but its racist past still lingers in Sumpter Township, Michigan. Clerk Hurst allegedly is a Ku Klux member, with these records being attainable at the Coleman Young Municipal Building in Detroit's Record Department. Township Treasurer Patterson allegedly violated campaign laws by using federally funded vans to deliver Sumpter Township campaign materials. To voters along with his neighbor Rod, who works at the senior center. This next statement is not an allegation, but facts. In 2016, two of my horses were poisoned allegedly by names unknown working at Sumpter Township Hall, just because I ran for Sumpter Township treasurer in the same year. One of the horses did not survive, and I still have a $5,000 reward for more information on the situation. I found guilty and arrested. The FBI, U.S. Marshals, State of Michigan, and other state and federal agencies look into these allegations. It has also come to my attention that alleged radioactive waste has and is being dumped in Sumpter Township landfills. Nobody is suggesting that waste materials should be banned if legal, but that radioactive waste is totally another matter. And every truck delivering to our township dumps should be inspected for violations by our nation's state and federal environmental protection agencies and sued to the fullest extent of the law and sent to prison if guilty. Radioactive material can be carried by the wind, runoffs, and other ways. Our history tells us this material is still active and killing people daily ever since its test use in World War II. During the World War against the Japanese, 80,000 innocent human beings lost their lives immediately, with effects of the lingering radiation still raging on. Thousands of more lives are being lost yearly because of this inconsiderate act of racism. Again, for anybody intending on locating Sumpter Township, in my opinion, think twice or three times before you make a final decision. What has occurred in Sumpter Township as a result of poor leadership from the township? We used to have a playground and a parade ground. No more. All we got is a dirt field. We once had lakes you could bring your family to. No more, because they're polluted. We once had yearly carnival. Now we have nothing. Our once we once had parks and recreation. Now we have nothing. We once had what they call demolition derby. They tore down. They tore that down. So again, for those thinking about moving to Sumpter Township, in my opinion, think twice because it's not what it seems.
Now, as you already alluded to that you had like those are serious things that happened to your horses. Now one horse did pass or die, right?
Right.
Was the result, and one is it still the other one's still living, or has it got
Yes.
issues from that, stemming from that, or
Still has issues.
okay? Did they kind of did anybody that was able to identify what kind of toxin or poison was used, or
No.
okay? But, it's just, this does sound like, I mean, this town is basically an ensconced little thing, old boy network. That's what I'm hearing, and,
Exactly what it is. Old boy network.
now it's like, as it said here on the, logo from so see, I've never been to Sumpter Township to my knowledge. I might have been down there when I was a child, when we were traveling through with my parents, but established in 1840, which is that's a long time to be around as a township.
Hmm.
Just soon after, I think we became a state in was it 1837. So as soon after the state become a state, But anyway, any do you have any contact information you want to give out to contact for people to encourage them to contact people, or do you contact you, or
Well, I would suggest that uh, you contact um, the governmental agencies that regulate waste, because, as I mentioned earlier, we have a couple dumps that are a mile high, and hundreds of trucks are in and out of that every day. And the way truck companies work, in my opinion, all they are is in it for the money. They don't care about what they put in on their loads or what they dump, and that should be regulated uh, more better, in my opinion. Um,
now? I definitely am concerned myself about what you talked about is nuclear waste or material being put into the landfills too, or being brought somewhere, not into the landfills perhaps, but even if it was a specialized area. That's kinda something a very strong concern should be raised up about that, I think.
well, they are being dumped at the landfills.
So, anyway, would you want me to show the picture of the, with all the, current lineup of, officials and to some township?
Hmm.
I'll show that up again. Now, do you think you would, if people were to contact these people directly, would have any effect, or you just want them to know who they're
Well,
dealing
I
with?
would hope it would have an effect because, when you run for office, uh, those are paid positions. All right, once you get elected, but in my opinion, they run for office. Those people that you see there, they just run the office for the money. They don't care anything about the people. And if anybody comes out to Sumpter Township, don't take my word for this. Just go down the roads, either the paved roads or the gravel roads, and see for yourself.
See, what you're describing basically is what's going on, I think, around the country, though. I mean, we get people, they get in power in a local office and they hold that office for so many years. Maybe they go into a bigger office and they get elected and bigger pay and they got more favors and they got more people connecting them. They basically become like a political entity on their own. So, I mean, that's a very, I think that's all the way across the country. I'm not discrediting them. I definitely think your concerns are very valid. I mean, no way about that, other than that. But, anyway, I'd like to see people do, I'd like to encourage them maybe to get more aware of what's going on there or wherever they're at. I think that'd be a good thing to say too. If they're saying, "Well, not Sumter Township," well, you live somewhere, and
Well, the only time you see these people is this time of year, election time. Other than that, no.
No, you would
They've destroyed what little joy that the people once enjoyed. In Sumpter Township, we had parades, no more. Okay, we had demolition derby park, no more. All right. Uh, we would have fairs. Okay, no more. Um, we have recreation for. There used to be a committee. I don't think it's there anymore. But anyway, for all practical purposes, no more. We have no jobs. Uh, the only jobs are at the township hall, and they're all aunts and uncles and sons and daughters and girlfriends and boyfriends. Uh, we have an attorney that um, he should retire and find employment somewhere else. Maybe he can go back to uh, uh, Greektown. I don't care. He needs to go somewhere other than using in my opinion, using the township for a ATM machine.
now. Maybe we should tell people exactly where Sumpter Township is located. It's not too far from Ann Arbor, right?
Right.
And so of course it's not all that far away from Detroit, the city of Detroit.
Exactly.
So Ann Arbor's known now because the per capita income there is pretty high. It's probably the highest in the states. I would imagine.
Sumter Township is about 10 miles um, from from Ann Arbor.
So I mean, and it seems like if they had and it seems if I was a member of the township, board or whatever, I think if I was having difficulties with you know, we just make it couldn't know what direction to take. And there's so many people they could tap into at the University of Michigan. I mean, just to go there and just go to people so they can help create better policy or how to handle, the pollution situation or how to handle the blight situation. They got all these experts probably right on hand. And I'm sure the University of Michigan's got a research center that they can go to and talk to people about how they've done research on how the municipalities across the country, across the world have used to
They have
combat these issues.
they have Ann Arbor has all of that, but these people in Sumter Township, they don't want to do nothing but collect their paycheck. That's it. And I'm so sick and tired of how they act and how they treat people in Sumter Township. You can't even go to a board meeting without being heckled, all right, and told to sit down. Uh, and and it's and that's ridiculous. We have a lot to say out there, okay? But people they've done dirt so bad, in my opinion, to the residents of Sumter Township that hardly anybody ever goes to the town to the to the board meetings anymore because they'll get disrespected. All right, they've been hollered at and screamed at. You know, they've disgraced the publisher of the Belleville Independent newspaper. Okay, they disrespected her so much that that she she left the building crying. Okay, and this lady's 80 years old. You wouldn't treat your grandmother like they've treated. They're very ugly, in my opinion, very ugly. They should not. I wish the state would come in and do a forensic uh,
Forensic audit, of the books, the audit
yes,
books. Yeah.
a forensic audit. See where our money's going. Okay, there is no businesses of any other than them uh, uh, mom and pop stores, and who in the hell is going to pay $2 for a slice of pizza? Okay, there's no stores, there's nothing out there.
And
Okay, they claim they want it to stay rural, but I mean, people have to live. People have to work. People need jobs. All right.
No, does Sumter Township currently have anything like for public transparency efforts, like maybe like live stream to the meetings or anything? Do they currently do this to your knowledge, or
Well, they opened a media center a year or so ago, but it's limited. But if you want any books or anything, you gotta order it from the Belleville, Michigan library, and have it sent out there to Sumpter Township.
Well, I was a guy though. I mean, like like live streaming the actual meetings, the township meetings or something like that. Do they actually do that, or do they have anybody record it and post it somewhere online somewhere like they can
Yeah,
access it? Or
yes, they do, but um, they edited it. They edit so badly that if people want to talk and they don't, and the township doesn't like what they're saying, you're not going to see it.
like like we Flint here, we have a person that records the city council meetings, and some things are very lengthy, and but basically he lets it roll as it is. I think that's a good approach, and I was doing that briefly for another small town nearby Flint. When I did a city council meeting, I just let it roll. I went live,
Hmm.
and I had constantly pop up the label of what the people was looking at if they joined in the middle of it, and I just let it roll. I mean, people have to know that they don't have any expectation of privacy when they're coming to a public meeting, and it's the same thing applies to city officials. And I don't know if you ever watched these cop audit videos for First Amendment auditors. um, Cops keep on failing on that, so I'm just using it as an example. I mean, public officials do not like to have transparency, and maybe if you can actually encourage, maybe that's one thing you could actually maybe encourage is people go out there and just simply record it on devices of their own and post it. That way they can edit it. They can't force people to surrender, and that'd be an interesting thing if they tried to do that. I mean, be just active by showing up and recording what's going on in the public meetings. You're not doing anything clandestine or anything deep and secret or anything. You're doing something. You're as a concerned citizen, you should approach and go be able to go to these meetings and record them because that's what they're for. So I mean, has anybody ever have you ever think you saw anybody do that on their own there when you did attend them? Or
Well, people sometimes, I don't attend them anymore because I don't want to hear all that bullshit and lies that that they tell. And uh, and I just feel sorry for the people in Sumter Township, and I feel sorry for me for even moving out there 22 years ago. But it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's a small community. Uh, they have no infrastructure. The only the only revenue that they really get is from taxes and that dump. Okay, on Oakville Waltz, and I mentioned it's probably a mile high and still getting higher. Um, so I just wish the state would come in and audit and whatever they find, who's ever responsible for misdeeds. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some good people at the township hall, but they're so scared to talk. There was a message sent last year, something like that, by one of the trustees. I believe it was that that was more or less a threat. Uh, if any of the employees said anything at all, that they could be fired. And they don't have a problem with shutting your First Amendment right down.
well, they the courts ruled on some instances if you're an employee, you can't really have full exercise of your First Amendment in what at the workplace concerning the workplace, and that's kind of a chilling effect upon the First Amendment. And I mean, I'm a First Amendment person. I mean, obviously, and I think you gotta let the chips fall where they may. And if they're not doing something that's above reproach, then they got to expect somebody to react to it. And they've gotten away with this far too long, and they're going to get away with it. And I've seen the cops, for example, get far more abusive. I've seen I've seen city officials and public officials on the state level get more contemptuous of the citizenry.
Hmm.
They're arrogant, and I don't know why they keep on tolerating it. They do horrific stuff to people, say horrible things that I could never say to any employer that I've worked for.
Hmm.
And basically, every citizen's out there is one of your employers. When you're out there as a public official, and
Exactly.
this we
Exactly.
allowed them to get away with it.
Exactly. And that should stop.
And so,
But we live in a climate now that is horrible. Uh, in all my years, I've never seen society so, in my opinion, so screwed up in the mind. You know, um, telling on each other, hating on each other, discriminating against each other. And it's just, uh, hey, I just hope that they find God. You know, but some of them never will.
well, I hope this editorial and this, in my opinion, show that you just done, it actually serves to actually get people prompt people to get involved, not only in Sumpter Township, but I'm sure what's going on there is reflective of what's going on in thousands of communities across this country.
And I tell people all the time, if you don't like what's going on, say something other than your next door neighbor. Call an agency, whether it's state or federal, okay, or even county, that might be able to help you or resolve some issues, or and figure out who's causing the mischief and do something about it.
So, do you have any words of encouragement, or I mean, or rather than what you just said, but I mean, to also how people can contact you, or who do you think they should contact on the township level there for Sumter Township if they want to see something done?
Well, it'd probably be useless to contact the township hall, because all they do is kick the can down the road or ignore it, whatever it is, or say that you're a troublemaker. See, they call me a troublemaker. You know what I mean?
The rabble rouser.
Rabble rouser, Um, oh, they can, but I'm still going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and I like that about you. We've been involved. You've been coming to the studio for several years now, and you worked for a newspaper prior to this, your local paper here that was connected to the community, and you still do that, I guess, to some degree down where you're at now as well. So where you
Yes,
had been.
yes.
So anyway, so do you have anything to say? As you want to wrap this up, or do you want to anything to mention, or?
Only thing I can say in wrapping the session up is that pray for those people in Sumpter Township and for the people that live in Sumpter Township, and think twice or three times before you buy property or build a home in Sumpter Township, because without any uh, businesses and factories or plants, from a tax point of view, they're gonna get your tax dollars. They're gonna keep raising your taxes. So be aware of that. And again, if you see something that you don't like, that you want changed, go to those board meetings, see how they treat people. They treat people with disgust, in my opinion.
Well, hey, well, we'll hope to see you again in here soon about another issue or anything. The door's always open for you to come in here, and I think our people who might have joined in. Okay, and have a good day.
Thank you.